CBN probe: Tinubu special investigator trace a trillion looted funds to private bank accounts. Come on. Another one. Preliminary report indicts acting CBN governor Tinubu, Emefele and others. Aso Rock Kaba blocks Obazi from submitting reports to Tinubu, moves to assure tenure extension for acting CBN governor. This is the same thing that happened to Honorable Gudaje Kazaure, where he speaks out.
Nobody is stronger than the president. What happened is the president believed in paper and reality. I am the only person that will go and brief the president my report, my committee report. What I see, what is hidden, they block me.
Are you the only one in the committee?
I'm not the only one.
So
but
why is that you are the only one?
I am the secretary to the committee. All the documents are with me.
But unfortunate for the cabals, Tinubu have replaced the CBN governor. This is a kind of response, a quick action that Nigerians need. And the report reveals that Tinubu, as architect of controversial currency redesign policy, mastermind of Naira scarcity.
I will sure that this is not my issue will not be swept under the carpet, because I am sure even this government, they didn't allow this thing to continue. Anybody that emerge as a president in this country, he must invite me. He must support this committee to continue, because it's the only way to sustain this nation without borrowing. Nobody is stronger than the president. What happened is the president believed in paper and reality. I am the only person that will go and brief the president my report, my committee report. What I see, what is hidden, they block me.
Are you the only one in the committee?
I'm not the only one.
So
but
why is that you are the only one?
I am the secretary to the committee. All the documents are with me.
Over time, we saw a reduction in the revenue coming from analog stamp duty, the paper stamp duty coming into government. So NIPOST in 2012 engaged some consultants. In 2012, I wasn't the governor, it was Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. They came to the CBN and told them that they had a mandate to do electronic collection of stamp duties. At that time, there was no law backing it. So CBN said there was no law. For that reason, they would not force the banks. In 2014, towards the end of 2014, when I became governor, they came back and we also gave them the same explanation that we couldn't collect stamp duties because there was no law to back the collection. In 2015, they went to court. Around end of 2015, they got a court judgment. In spite of the fact that there was no law backing it, they got a court judgment forcing central bank to force the banks to begin to collect stamp duty. Afraid that I could be accused of contempt, we took the risk as CBN to write to the banks a circular saying, start collecting stamp duty. Some customers, some large customers who are into FMCG products protested and went to court. As I speak, some of those cases are still in court today. But in spite of that, we have continued to force and compel the banks that they must collect this stamp duty or electronic money transfer fees. So it is therefore very, I don't understand how the central bank that started forcing the banks in 2016 to collect stamp duty because we feel that it is a source of revenue generation for the country, how that same central bank can begin to withhold 89 trillion. So that it beats our imagination that those kind of arguments can come. Ladies and gentlemen, 89 trillion is so large. The total asset, if you understand accounting, the total asset of the banking industry today is about 71 or 71.5 trillion. The total deposit of the banking system today is 44.498 trillion. So how then is it possible that stamp duty, which is 89 trillion, that is twice the deposit of banks, how possible is that? And I truly don't understand.
Because I came with my documents, because all the questions they are questioning her, they didn't question her what is supposed to ask her about the economic of the country. The CBN, they are hiding monies in different accounts, which is the money is enough to solve the nation debt, local and the international, to fund the budget without borrowing, and to even add our foreign reserve. So that is why they're supposed to ask her that question. What is that money are? I'm sure media, you see, we've released some document through the point blank. We released 29 account names and number, where the 70 trillion is there. If somebody said that money, there is no that money, and the money is more than 70 trillion or 80 trillion we are mentioning. But why the leadership refused to allow me to talk, to ask her a question? That is question number one.
I just don't understand. So when it became some stories everywhere, we went into our records. We told banking supervision, banking payment system, please go into the system and rake out the total amount that has been collected on stamp duty from 2015 to date, 2016 to date. We told our people in banking supervision, contact the banks. Now, let the banks give us from their record how much they have collected on stamp duty from 2016 to date. And you know what? Tell the banks on their headed paper, they should sign that this is the amount they have collected on stamp duty from the 2016 to date. The report that we have in CBN is this: that stamp duty collected to date is 378 billion 686 million 315,505 naira 28 kobo. I'm reading it to the last kobo. I repeat, total stamp duty collected from 2016 to date in our record, and we the banks have signed on their headed paper how much they've collected, because this is public accounts. We owe Nigerians accountability. Is 370 billion 686 million 315,505 naira 28 kobo. Out of that, FIRS has disbursed through FAC, or Ministry of Finance has disbursed to FAC, 226 billion 451 million 720,158 naira 88 kobo. And the balance in the account in CBN is 144 billion 234 million 595,346 naira 40 kobo. Went further, we said, look, banks, this is, we did a tabulation. The highest collection, and I will mention the name of the bank, the oldest bank in Nigeria, First Bank, collected 71.6 billion naira in 7 years. Their headed papers are all here, signed by them. So I truly don't know where 89 trillion is. But again, We at Central Bank, we have said we will continue to look for it.
We sent a letters to banks, 27 banks, with a worksheet to fill it. Why banks didn't refuse to fill that worksheet from 2014 to date? The charges they collected, where they send the charges, how they return it. They refuse. They went, Central Bank gives them same reply they send to us. All the 27 banks send us same reply. Same written, same patterns. Only different of letter headed and the signature and the names. That is the only difference, but the same content in all the 27 banks letter they sent to us. So they fear Central Bank because Central Bank, they know they are doing business between bank and the Central Bank. So what I want to tell Nigerians, if this investigation continue, many banks share in Nigeria will go back to government. Sure, if we move to Central Bank, our investigation gets access to Central Bank, within 10 working days, we will bring out above 89 trillion that we are saying by mouth. I am sure Nigerian people, they will see money above that 89 trillion. So what I am trying to make people understand is, look at an example. Now, CBN borrowed 27 trillion to government, and the CBN claim they borrowed 23 trillion to banks, which is 50 trillion. How Central Bank, what is the source of that 50 trillion? If not, is not through that charges. What is the source of Central Bank? What are they producing that they can provide? They are the one borrowing government money. I think Central Bank is an agency of government or the federal government of Nigeria. Why the agency of the federal government borrow federal government money? Where our intelligence go? Why our situation go like that? How can an agency of government borrow government money? What are they producing? So at the end, they will understand what I said, that government, they are borrowing government money. So government are collecting their money as a loan with interest, while it's the public money. So that is why it's recycling money. And that is why they are the one decide if they need dollar will go down, if they need dollar will go high. If they want to make you rich, they will give you dollar in official rate. They will multiply it, the differences in the black market, and you get a billions of naira. And that is why people are suffering. Everything double its price, 4 times, 5 times. People cannot afford of 3 square meal in Nigeria. And that is
What have we done? We have engaged the big 4 audit firms, KPMG, PwC, Ernst & Young, and Deloitte, to go to the banks and do a forensic audit of all stamp duties. They have a way of, when by the time they simulate the number of transactions and volume, they will see it. And if there is any uncollected stamp duty, we will force the banks. They would pay to the last 1 penny. That is our position. Again, please, you can see how I've taken my time. There is no intention to overheat the system. Please press, help us, provide information, but please not to overheat the system. Nigerians deserve the information because this is public account, and that is why we have done this afternoon.
What we are trying to make people to understand is that we are calling the attention of the international community, big countries that are helping the world, like America, London, and other big countries, European Union and others, to consider the situation of Nigerian people. Nigerian people, all these crimes, banditry, is poverty. It's the poverty. We are above 200 million and almost 80% on poverty. And God provide what everyone in Nigeria will enjoy the life medium. But some of the people